Proverbs 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. That was last week's verse. Okay. This week we are continuing. Oh, happy Sunday. Welcome back. Didn't say that yet. This week we are finishing the book of Proverbs. Yeah, the book of the Proverbs with chapters 27 through 31. All right, chapter 27. Boast not of tomorrow, for you know not what any day may bring forth. Let another praise you, not your own mouth, someone else, not your own lips. Stone is heavy and sand a burden, but a fool's provocation is heavier than both. Anger is relentless and wrath overwhelming, but before jealousy who can stand? Better is an open rebuke than a love that remains hidden. Wounds from a friend may be accepted as well meant, but the greetings of an enemy one prays against. One who is full tramples on virgin honey, but to the man who is hungry, any bitter thing is sweet. Like a bird that is far from its nest is a man who is far from his home. Perfume and incense gladden the heart, but by grief the soul is torn asunder. Your own friend and your father's friend forsake not, but if ruin befalls you, enter not a kinsman's house. Better is a neighbor near at hand than a brother far away. If you are wise, my son, you will gladden my heart, and I will be able to rebut him who taunts me. The shrewd man perceives evil and hides. Simpletons continue on and suffer the penalty. Take his garment to become surety for another, and for the sake of a stranger yield it up. When one greets his neighbor with a loud voice in the early morning, a curse can be laid to his charge. For a persistent leak on a rainy day, the match is a quarrelsome woman. He who keeps her stores up a storm wind, he who cannot tell north from south. As iron sharpens iron, so man sharpens his fellow man. He who tends a fig tree eats its fruit, and he who is attentive to his master will be enriched. As one face differs from another, so does one human heart from another. The netherworld and the abyss are never satisfied, so too the eyes of men. As the crucible tests silver and the furnace gold, so a man is tested by the praise he receives. Though you should pound the fool to bits with the pestle amid the grits of a mortar, his folly would not go out of him. Take good care of your flocks, give careful attention to your herds, for wealth lasts not forever, nor even a crown from age to age. When the grass is taken away and the aftergrowth appears, and the mountain greens are gathered in, the lambs will provide you with clothing, and the goats will bring the price of a field, and there will be ample goat's milk to supply your household, and maintenance for your maidens. Chapter 28. The wicked man flees, although no one pursues him, but the just man, like a lion, feels sure of himself. If a land is rebellious, its princes will be many, but with a prudent man it knows security. A rich man who oppresses the poor is like a devastating rain that leaves no food. Those who abandon the law praise the wicked man, but those who keep the law war against him. Evil men understand nothing of justice, but those who seek the Lord understand all. Better a poor man who walks in his integrity than he who is crooked in his eyes and his ways and rich. He who keeps the law is a wise son, but the glutton's companion disgraces his father. He who increases his wealth by interest and overcharge gathers it for him who is kind to the poor. When one turns away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer is an abomination. He who seduces the upright into an evil way will himself fall into his own pit, and blameless men will gain prosperity. The rich man is wise in his own eyes, but a poor man who is intelligent sees through him. When the just are triumphant, there is great jubilation, but when the wicked gain preeminence, people hide. He who conceals his sins prospers not, but he who confesses and forsakes them obtains mercy. Happy the man who is always on his guard, but he who hardens his heart will fall into evil. Like a roaring lion or a ravenous bear is a wicked ruler over a poor people. The less prudent the prince, the more his deeds oppress. He who hates ill-gotten gain prolongs his days. Though a man burdened with human blood were to flee the grave, none should support him. He who walks uprightly is safe, but he whose ways are crooked falls into the pit. He who cultivates his land will have plenty of food, but from idle pursuits a man has his fill of poverty. The trustworthy man will be richly blessed. He who is in haste to grow rich will not go unpunished. To show partiality is never good, for even a morsel of bread a man may do wrong. The avaricious man is perturbed about his wealth, and he knows not when want will come upon him. He who rebukes a man gets more thanks in the end than one with a flattering tongue. He who defrauds father or mother and calls it no sin is a partner of the brigand. The greedy man stirs up disputes, but he who trusts in the Lord will prosper. He who trusts in himself is a fool, but he who walks in wisdom is safe. He who gives to the poor suffers no want, but he who ignores them gets many a curse. When the wicked gain preeminence, other men hide, but at their fall the just flourish. Chapter 29. The man who remains stiff-necked and hates rebuke will be crushed suddenly beyond cure. When the just prevail, the people rejoice, but when the wicked rule, the people groan. He who loves wisdom makes his father glad, but he who consorts with harlots squanders his wealth. By justice a king gives stability to the land, but he who imposes heavy taxes ruins it. The man who flatters his neighbor is spreading a net under his feet. The wicked man steps into a snare, but the just man runs on joyfully. The just man has a care for the rights of the poor. The wicked man has no such concern. Arrogant men set the city ablaze, but the wise men calm the fury. Arrogant men set the city ablaze, but wise men calm the fury. If a wise man disputes with a fool, he may rage or laugh, but can have no peace. Bloodthirsty men hate the honest man, but the upright show concern for his life. The fool gives vent to all his anger, but by biding his time, the wise man calms it. Talked about that a little bit last week, controlling emotions. The fool gives vent to all his anger, but by biding his time, the wise man calms it. If a ruler listens to lying words, his servants all become wicked. The poor and the oppressor have a common bond. The Lord gives light to the eyes of both. If a king is zealous for the rights of the poor, his throne stands firm forever. The rod of correction gives wisdom, but a boy left to his whims disgraces his mother. Raise up a child, or train up a child in the way he should go, as opposed to leaving your son to his own devices. Son, daughter. When the wicked prevail, crime increases, but their downfall the just will behold. Correct your son, and he will bring you comfort and give delight to your soul. Without prophecy, the people become demoralized, but happy is he who keeps the law. By words no servant can be trained, for he understands what is said, but obeys not. Do you see a man hasty in his words? More can be hoped for from a fool. If a man pampers his servant from childhood, he will turn out to be stubborn. An ill-tempered man stirs up disputes, and a hot-headed man is the cause of many sins. Man's pride causes his humiliation, but he who is humble of spirit obtains honor. The accomplice of a thief is his own enemy. He hears himself put under a curse, yet discloses nothing. The fear of man brings a snare, but he who trusts in the Lord is safe. Many curry favor with the ruler, but the rights of each are from the Lord. The evildoer is an abomination to the just, and he who walks uprightly is an abomination to the wicked. Chapter 30. The words of Agur, son of Jekah, the Massite, the pronouncement of mortal man. I am not God, that I should prevail. Why, I am the most stupid of men, and have not even human intelligence. Neither have I learned wisdom, nor have I the knowledge of the Holy One. Who has gone up to heaven and come down again? Who has cupped the wind in his hands? Who has bound up the waters in a cloak? Who has marked out the ends of the earth? What is his name? What is his son's name, if you know it? Every word of God is tested. He is a shield to those who take refuge in him. Add nothing to his words, lest he reprove you, and you be exposed as a deceiver. 2 things I ask of you, deny them not to me before I die. Put falsehood and lying far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Provide me only with the food I need. Lest being full I deny you, saying, Who is the Lord? Or, being in want, I steal, and profane the name of my God. Slander not a servant to his master, lest he curse you, and you have to pay the penalty. There is a group of people that curses its father and blesses not its mother. There is a group that is pure in its own eyes, yet is not purged of its filth. There is a group, how haughty their eyes, how overbearing their glance. There is a group whose incisors are swords, whose teeth are knives, devouring the needy from the earth and the poor from among the men. The 2 daughters of the leech are give, give. 3 things are never satisfied, 4 never say enough. The netherworld and the barren womb, the earth that is never saturated with water and fire, that never says enough. The eye that mocks a father or scorns an aged mother will be plucked out by the ravens in the valley. The young eagles will devour it. 3 things are too wonderful for me. Yes, 4 I cannot understand. The way of an eagle in the air, the way of a serpent upon a rock, the way of a ship on the high seas, and the way of a man with a maiden. Such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eats, wipes her mouth, and says, I have done no wrong. Under 3 things the earth trembles. Yes, under 4 it cannot bear up. Under a slave when he becomes king, and a fool when he is glutted with food. Under an odious woman when she is wed, and a maidservant when she displaces her mistress. 4 things are among the smallest of the earth, and yet are exceedingly wise. Ants, a species not strong, yet they store up their food in the summer. Rock badgers, a species not mighty, yet they make their home in the crags. Locusts, they have no king, yet they migrate all in array. Lizards, you can catch them with your hands, yet they find their way into kings' palaces. 3 things are stately in their stride, yes, 4 are stately in their carriage. The lion, mightiest of beasts, who retreats before nothing, the strutting rooster, and the he-goat, and the king at the head of his people. If you have foolishly been proud or presumptuous, put your hand on your mouth, for the stirring of milk brings forth curds, and the stirring of anger brings forth blood. And now chapter 31. So Proverbs 31 is kind of famous. It's been trending the last few years. You hear about it a lot. A Proverbs 31 woman, for instance. This is advice given to a son by his mother. And the first half is advice straight to the son. And then the second portion is describing the kind of woman he should try to find to marry. A biblical woman, it's interesting. So, all right, chapter 31. The words of Lemuel, king of Massa, the advice which his mother gave him. What, my son, my firstborn? What, O son of my womb? What, O son of my vows? Give not your vigor to women, nor your strength to those who ruin kings. It is not for kings, O Lemuel, not for kings to drink wine. Strong drink is not for princes. Lest in drinking they forget what the law decrees and violate the rights of all who are in need. Give strong drink to one who is perishing, and wine to the sorely depressed. When they drink, they will forget their misery and think no more of their burdens. Open your mouth in behalf of the dumb, and for the rights of the destitute. Open your mouth, decree what is just, defend the needy and the poor. When one finds a worthy wife, her value is far beyond pearls. Her husband, entrusting his heart to her, has an unfailing prize. She brings him good and not evil all the days of her life. She obtains wool and flax and makes cloth with skillful hands. Like merchant ships, she secures her provisions from afar. She rises while it is still night and distributes food to her household. She picks out a field to purchase. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She is girt about with strength, and sturdy are her arms. She enjoys the success of her dealings. At night, her lamp is undimmed. She puts her hands to the distaff, and her fingers ply the spindle. She reaches out her hands to the poor, and extends her arms to the needy. She fears not the snow for her household. All her charges are doubly clothed. She makes her own coverlets. Fine linen and purple are her clothing. Her husband is prominent at the city gates, as he sits with the elders of the land. She makes garments and sells them, and stocks the merchants with belts. She is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs at the days to come. She opens her mouth in wisdom, and on her tongue is kindly counsel. She watches the conduct of her household. She eats not her food in idleness. Her children rise up and praise her. Her husband, too, extols her. Many are the women of proven worth, but you have excelled them all. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting. The woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Give her a reward of her labors, and let her works praise her at the city gates. And that's Proverbs 31. Hi everyone, I'm popping back in here. I'm editing right now. I want to talk a little bit more about Proverbs 31. All the Proverbs are so good and so important and relevant, and I encourage everyone to spend more time on them than we have here. But 31 I really want to highlight because as we try to be the best, Christian women we can, it's good to have a biblical example of what that would be. So, Proverbs 31, verse 10, when one finds a worthy wife, her value is far beyond pearls. And then talking about the husband, she brings him good and not evil all the days of her life. So, does she bring him closer to God, or does she encourage him to fall further from the Lord and what we are taught? The wife that we should strive to be, the wife that young men should strive to find, will bring him closer to God. Verse 13, she obtains wool and flax and makes cloth with skillful hands. She picks out a field to purchase. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She makes garments and sells them and stocks the merchants with belts. These are verses 13, 16, and 24. So that's, again, a lot of our culture will say that if you are a biblical wife, you can't do anything. Biblical wives, traditional wives aren't allowed to work, and that's not what's happening here. The response to that will be, well, that sounds terrible. All she does is serve other people. She has no life of her own. She's miserable. Well, insert verse 18. She enjoys the success of her dealings. At night, her lamp is undimmed. So she does all these things and all this work, and she enjoys the success of her dealings, of her work. What does she do for her home? Because she's not just, working to bring in an income. Verse 15, which is in the middle of the ones we just read, she rises while it is still night and distributes food to her household. Her household comes first. It's the first thing she does in the day. She rises and makes sure everyone is well fed. That's her husband, her children, possibly servants, or whoever else is in the home. Verse 21, she fears not the snow for her household. All of her charges are doubly clothed. She's not worried about anything. She is, the snow in this case. She has them warm. They are covered. They are cared for. But not only does she care for her household, verse 20, she reaches out her hands to the poor and extends her arms to the needy. She helps other people too, where she can. How does she do this? How is she maintaining all of these pursuits? Verse 17, she is girt about with strength and sturdy are her arms. That is very against our culture. If you see the pictures of actors in Hollywood, I wouldn't call their arms sturdy, these actresses. So what this is she's strong, not just mentally and emotionally, but physically. She is girt about with strength and sturdy are her arms. We should strive to be strong and healthy and well. Next, she makes her own coverlets, fine linen and purple are her clothing, so she dresses nicely. But verse 25, she is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs at the days to come. Clothed with strength and dignity. So she wears nice stuff, but when it goes into how she is clothed, it's with strength and dignity. That's what matters. So we have this woman, she works, she takes care of her family, she presents herself with dignity. And then let's hear about her husband. Who's her husband? Verse 23, her husband is prominent at the city gates. That's where all the stuff happens. As he sits with the elders of the land. So he is with the movers and the shakers of the town and the society. Maybe he's an elected representative, maybe he's a counselor, who knows? But he's prominent in this town. Verse 26, she opens her mouth in wisdom, and on her tongue is kindly counsel. So she had a prominent husband. When she speaks with him, it's with wisdom, and on her tongue is kindly counsel. Contrast that with the various Proverbs warning against nagging wives and things like that. She will provide counsel, but it's done well. Jumping to verse 28, her children rise up and praise her. Her husband too extols her. Many are the women of proven worth, but you have excelled them all. So her husband is praising her and lifting her up, as are her children. Verse 31, give her a reward of her labors, and let her works praise her at the city gates. So we just learned about the city gates. That's where the husband spends his time. That's where all the goings on in the city are. So she's praised not just in the home by her children and by her husband, but let her works praise her at the city gates. Let her be praised in society as well. And finally, we're going to close on verse 30 here. I think this kind of sums up all of it. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting. The woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. So all these things are good. The works that she is able to do, but ultimately the woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. So because she fears the Lord, she does these things. This is what she is able to do. She does what she can to best serve God and serve her family. So that's a Proverbs 31 woman. I wanted to go into that a little bit more. And again, I'm not a pastor. I encourage anybody in Sunday school to ask about what this looks like in your life and in the world today. Seek counsel from people who can help you find this kind of woman, and young women seek counsel to how to become this and what that looks like today. So go ahead and let's jump back to the pre-taping. All right, so these are the verses that jumped out to me this week. There's so many, and different ones may have jumped out to you. These are the ones that stood out to me as I was reading today. Chapters 27, verse 7. One who is full tramples on virgin honey, walks over, ignores it. But to the man who is hungry, any bitter thing is sweet. Have you ever had that happen where when you're really hungry, even, carrots taste really sweet because the sugar comes out. But if you're full and you've had your fill, you won't notice that. But this applies to more than food. One example, if you are lonely, any attention will feel good, even if it's negative attention or bad attention or improper attention. So just be mindful if you're really, they say don't go grocery shopping when you're hungry because everything looks good. The same applies to all areas of life. If you are lacking something, any version of that thing will seem good. So make sure you ensure before you partake of it that that thing is a good version of that thing, and it's a thing that will feed you and be good for you. Okay, chapter 27, verse 17. As iron sharpens iron, so man sharpens his fellow man. Chapter 28, verse 13. He who conceals his sins prospers not, but he who confesses and forsakes them obtains mercy. And then chapter 31, verses 25 and 30. She is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs at the days to come. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting. The woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. I like that verse 25 because it's not talking about looking a certain way. It's clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs at the days to come. There's joy in her home. Yeah. That is the end of the book of Proverbs. A lot there. It feels like it doesn't do it justice to just read through chapters at a time because so many of these, most of them, deserve, there could be whole sermons. Like if a ruler listens, chapter 29, verse 12, if a ruler listens to lying words, his servants all become wicked. This all still pertains. He who conceals his sins prospers not, but he who confesses and forsakes them obtains mercy. We say that at the beginning of our services, our statement of confession. That is still relevant. That is included in the New Testament as well. So I encourage everybody to read through the Proverbs slowly and see what jumps out at you each day. So yeah, on that note, let us conclude with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Amen. All right. Hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next Sunday as we continue our way through the Old Testament. Bye-bye.